Hey there and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another haul for you guys, and this one was actually incredibly spontaneous. This was like a drugstore fragrance haul. I was so not expecting to find really anything, but I saw so many and I actually had to actively stop myself and limit myself to 4 because there were so many fragrances. The selection was incredible at this drugstore and they were all on sale. So I kind of got pulled in because it's even harder to control yourself in person. So these are 4 fragrances. We will do blind buys, first impressions of all 4 because I haven't smelled any of them before, and I'll tell you the notes. We'll go through it like we always do, and then at some point in the future I'll come back and do a second impressions and tell you guys what I think. So we will get into it. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe. It helps out my channel and you'll be notified every single time I put out a new video. So let's get into it. And again, I'm gonna go in order of what I'm most nervous about or most excited for. So we will start with a Michael Kors fragrance that's actually white luminous gold. And really what drew me to this one over others is I hadn't heard anything about it, but I'd been interested in the all the fragrances by Michael Kors that kind of come in those rectangular bottles, and this was the first one I'd seen in person that was also on sale. So I was pretty excited. I hadn't really heard much about it, but when I looked up the notes, it just had pear, jasmine, and amber. And it had pretty good reviews, and I thought might as well kind of take a risk. There was a whole bunch of Agent Provocateur fragrances, and I didn't bite the bullet on any of those because I own 2 and I really like one and really hate the other, so I was just afraid to kind of dip my toes in there, but this I thought would be a safer bet. So there was a lot of everything though. There were so many Rihanna ones, like Britney Spears, a bunch of celebrity fragrances, a bunch of Calvin Klein, and I just kind of took a risk. So this is what it looks like. It's just mirrored all the way around, and yeah, this is the 30 ml. Yeah, it's the 30 ml. So we will spray it on the box, I think, and if I feel like I can't really get a good read, then I'll spray it on my skin as well. Oh, okay. I definitely can get a good read on it. It is quite strong. Definitely ambery. I don't get any pear. It's not fruity at all. It's really strong. Really, really strong. It's like spicy amber. Let me see. I'll spray it on my skin as well. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so strong and spicy. It's definitely ambery, but it's even the jasmine. I mean, I don't necessarily get a strong jasmine on this. It's there. I get no pear, which pear was apparently the opening note. I get none of that. It's like a very spicy floral. Yeah, it's not my favorite, I will say that. This isn't one that I see. I'm glad it's only 30 ml, because I just can't really see myself getting super into this personally. Again, I mean, I'll give it a shot and I'll see how I feel. I feel like the lasting power is going to be incredible, but yeah, we will see. This one already is kind of not my favorite. But I'm not hugely into very spicy fragrances that have no kind of other type of richness or sweetness to them. Yeah. It almost smells like there's patchouli in this, but it only listed 3 notes. Anyways, so we will come back to that. I'll let it kind of rest on my skin and maybe it'll develop. The next one is actually a funny story. I have never been into getting any of the Elizabeth Arden green tea scents, even though I adore tea fragrances and fragrances that have any type of tea note. For whatever reason, I just felt like it was too light and there was way too many, and the original was probably too dated for me. I don't know. I just got it in my head that I wasn't into them, and there's just so many flankers of green tea that I was like, just gonna steer clear of the whole thing. But I'd never seen this particular flanker in person, and it's a note that I really like, but I've also just super gotten into this summer. So when I saw it, and there were so many, there was pretty much the whole green tea line at this drugstore, I had to give in. So this is Green Tea Mimosa, and I'd never seen the Mimosa one. Again, it's just the 100 mils. I thought, you know, if I really end up liking it, I might get into the whole line, which will be unfortunate, but I am gonna probably just try to stick to one, because from reading reviews and just seeing what people thought, they tend to be fragrances that people say that between the flankers, they smell pretty similar, so we shall see. Oh, the lid is kind of cracked there. So let's see what we think. Hopefully it's nice. Oh wow, I do like it. Again, I can't really compare it to the others because I haven't smelled all the flankers. I know the original green tea I smelled ages and ages ago. I don't really remember, but this has a slight, it's a little citrusy. There's definitely green tea. I mean, you smell a tea note there, and it's slightly fuzzy for sure. It's not the strongest mimosa note, but I'm so used to Love Mimosa by Amouage, which is an extreme mimosa. I mean, it's so fuzzy, and it's almost too hard to wear fuzzy, but I do love it. This one is a lot softer. I feel like it'd be perfect for the really hot, humid days we've been having. No, I like it. I really do like it. I'm happy I picked it up. It was super inexpensive. I don't feel myself, you know, absolutely needing every single one. I know Beauty Meow here on YouTube is like obsessed with them, and she collects them all and really likes them. So there's that, but I do like it. I'm happy I picked it up. I don't feel the need to pick up every single one, but they are pretty collectible, so I do get the appeal there. Yeah, totally happy, and much better than the Michael Kors, so thank goodness. And then the next two are actually by the same house, and it's by Juliette Has A Gun. So Juliette Has A Gun, I remember trying a bunch of their fragrances in store in Sephora, and as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, my favorite always that I could not get out of my head and I would always respray is the fragrance, like 4 M's ... And I loved it, and pretty recently I picked it up and I adore it. I totally adore it, and I was kind of just gonna let that be it for Juliette Has A Gun. They're all really synthetic smelling. I personally don't mind, but I know they're not for everyone, and a lot of them have been showing up online and on sale, and I just kind of let things lie and didn't bite the bullet on any of the others. But these two showed up and they were on sale in person, which again is harder to resist, so I decided to pick them up, and they were two that I was already interested in, so here we are. And then I think I'm gonna start with the one that I'm slightly more safe with, and then we will move on to the one that I'm the most nervous about. So the first one by Juliette Has A Gun is actually gonna be this one. It's Lady Vengeance. And both of them are in the 100 mils, and Lady Vengeance listed Italian Rose, Vanilla, and Patchouli. And they only listed 3 notes. I'm sure there's more. The patchouli did make me nervous, but what interested me so much to this is Francis Curtis-Jean is actually the perfumer for this one, and love him. Love so many of the fragrances he's made, both for other houses and for his own line. And people really seemed to like this one, and they said it was a really beautiful rose, and so I decided to jump the bullet. And again, it was the 100 mils, so they were incredibly on sale for that. My that I picked up is just the 50 mils. So we will get into it. I will spray this one on this arm, or this hand, and we will see. Oh, there is I definitely get the rose, but there is a oud type smell that I'm getting from this. And it didn't list it in the notes. It did say on Fragrantica they were comparing it to another oud, I think that's what it's called, by Juliette Has A Gun. But I thought they were just comparing the rose, but I definitely get a woody oud type note in here, and it's quite nice. The rose is really beautiful. It's not especially jammy, but it's not lipsticky at all. It's quite like a deeper, richer rose, but it's not a jammy, very sickly sweet rose, and definitely not a powdery rose. Yeah, I think I don't really get much vanilla personally, but maybe as it starts to develop. But at, you know, first sniff in the opening, I definitely get rose, and I definitely get like a woody oud note, which is lovely. I mean, that was slightly unexpected because it wasn't in the notes, but yeah, totally love it. I'm really, really happy I picked that up. I feel like this, I would get a lot more use out of it in fall, winter, because it's already pretty dark and a rich scent. But it's one that I definitely wear. It's slightly even, definitely unisex, but slightly even masculine leaning the more it's on my skin. I don't know. It's both. It's probably unisex to my nose. But yeah, love that. So happy with that. So then the last one, and the one I mentioned I was the most nervous about, only because, not that I don't like these kinds of scents, but only because I do have 2 fragrances already in my collection that kind of have this vibe, and I was worried that it would be too similar and it would be too much of a risk. But I've heard great things about this one, even from people that don't like Juliette Has A Gun, like this fragrance. So it's not a perfume, and this one basically is just a molecule fragrance. It's just got ambrox, and it's just supposed to smell kind of different on different people, just like Glossier You or Indie by Katy Perry. I've personally never tried Molecule 01. I know it's crazy, but I haven't. But I've tried fragrances in that kind of vein that are slightly, you know, pencil shaving, woody. Some people get more of a citrusiness to their skin, but essentially because it's just one molecule, it's softer, and you end up not being able to smell it after a while on yourself, but people can smell it on you. So we will get into it. This one, again, is 100 ml, but it's a white bottle. And I actually really do like their bottles. I know Juliette Has A Gun is not for everyone at all, but I really do like it. So let's see, I'll spray it in right here. Okay, it's a lot softer than Glossier You or Indie. I feel like it's already disappeared. This is very strange. This is a fragrance that the first impression really isn't going to do it justice, because I feel like I really need to play around with this one, have other people kind of smell it on me, because already from a complete first impression, when I spray Glossier You, I get a lot more of that, the actual scent on my skin straight off the bat. And it's, you know, pencil shaving, a little more woody, not sweet, musky for sure. And Indie by Katy Perry, that I compare to that one, is kind of that as well. Not molecule, but just all of that muskiness and slight woodiness, but it's got a touch of sweetness to it. Very, very light, but it does have a touch of sweetness to it that Glossier You doesn't. This, however, it almost disappears. I feel like it is there. I can kind of smell it, but this is one that I really want to wear and have other people comment on, because it's a lot lighter, and I feel like less in your face musky. Not that Glossier You is super in your face musky, but there is definitely a muskiness to it that I feel like exists and projects a lot more, whereas this is even less perfumey than that, which is already not a perfumey fragrance, which, I mean, kind of goes without saying, not a perfume, but it's even less perfumey than those two. So I am happy to have picked it up. I do need to play with it a little bit more, because I don't think this is one that I can really come back to you guys right away within a couple minutes and say that I really get anything, but I do like it, and it's not an immediate regret where I feel like it was just a complete fail. And again, in person, it's a lot harder. You just kind of get pulled in. And yeah, I'm happy to have picked it up. They'll look nice next to one another, because the bottle is actually pink. So now I have white and black, and I think I should be set with Juliette Has A Gun and won't pick up anymore. I will say now, coming back to the Michael Kors, it's definitely mellowed out. And I actually get jasmine, which it was so hard to pick up because it was so spicy and ambery. I'm glad to now go back to it. Again, pear, I really truly don't get any fruitiness to it. I get a more of like an ambery, spicy floral. But now that it's mellowed out, I like it a lot more. and the Mimosa tea I love. So if I had to put them in order, now that it's mellowed out, things are definitely changing. I would say, it's hard to say. I would say maybe Mimosa Love I would put in first place, only because I feel like right now in this season, this is the first one that I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna go out today to a park nearby with some friends, and this is gonna be the fragrance I try out for today. So definitely in first place. I did really like it. I'm happy to have picked it up. I don't think I'm gonna jump deep end and pick up every single green tea fragrance, but if I had to pick one, I'm glad I went in that direction. Then a close second, and the only reason I'm putting it in second place is because it's not really in season right now, is Lady Vengeance. I definitely see myself getting into this fall, winter, and colder weather. It's really beautiful upon first spray. I mean, I love rose. It's got an oody woodiness, honestly, to my nose. I get that. And yeah, it's really nice. It's very sexy. Then in third place, and this is hard to say, I feel like currently, as it stands, I would put Michael Kors White Luminous Gold in third place because I can actually come to a sort of conclusion about it right now. It's mellowed out. At the start, I would have put it in dead last, but now that it's mellowed out and I'm getting more of that jasmine and it's not just incredibly spicy on my skin, it is nice, and I will wear it, you know, from time to time. 30 ml once I go through it. Wouldn't repurchase, I don't think, but upon first impressions, definitely third place. And honestly, in last place, I do have to put Not a Perfume, only because this is one that needs to, like, even now, it smells slightly different than it did when I spray it. And obviously, every fragrance is like that as it starts to develop, but with molecule fragrances, you do need to give them more time and let them warm up to your skin and see how you feel, a couple of days, a couple of weeks to really get a good impression. So I will try out all of these and then give you my full reviews on all of them in a second impressions video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!